It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
All right, last question. Are you ready?
Yep.
This one's from James. He says, hey, I'm not far behind you guys in age. He's 26.
Okay.
Recently married with a house purchase. My question is, have you and your spouse discussed a plan for children in the future? If so, how are you prepping financially? My wife and I have dedicated the next 5 or so years to being the best financial mutants we can be. And then, if they happen to have kids, they will be ready. What would your advice be?
Well, let me flip the question.
I'm gonna listen.
Okay, all right.
I will say being a financial mutant is a good start, right?
It's a great start.
It's a good idea to have your finances kind of in order.
I would never tell someone, because making a family decision, in my opinion, this is Bo's opinion, so take it for what it's worth. The family decision is not a financial decision. It's bigger. It's more robust. There's more things that go into that. However, there are some financial things that you can do to prepare for that, to make sure you are ready for that, to not add some undue stress and undue burden on something that's already really difficult. When that first baby shows up, man, no matter how prepared you are financially, mentally, no matter how many naps you thinking you're not going to be tired, you're going to be tired. It is just going to kick you in the face. But that's awesome. That's the way that it is supposed to be. So my wife and I, we were married for a few years before we had our first child, and we were already making sound financial decisions. We were already following the financial order of operations so that when the baby showed up, it was not really a financial strain for us because we knew that we had our cash reserves, we knew that we were saving for the future, and we kind of had all that allocated. We were able to focus on the newness that is being a parent. Now, as you have different kids, that changes, right? Like if you make the decision to go from 1 child to 2 children, yeah, there are some implications around that. And especially if you decide to go from 2 children to 3 children, well, now you're making an assessment around bigger cars, more expensive vacations, housing, how am I going to fit all these critters in there? All of those types of things. I think that the best way that you can prepare for that is recognizing that, one, you'll never fully be ready, right? I always told my wife, well, hey, why don't we, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. And I had a very wise older person, and I think Brian even shared this with me. He's definitely an older person. Said,
I didn't say that, Brian, if you're watching.
Truth be told, you're never ready,
Yeah.
right? You're never ready because parenthood is just a different thing. But you can make sure that you have a sound financial foundation in place to be prepared for that. And one of the things that you do that is, hey, if you think that you and your spouse are potentially going to have children in the next year, when November rolls around and it's open enrollment time for your health insurance, I would look at my health insurance option and say, which one of these would be the best option given the fact we think we're going to have a baby next year? I would think about, if I'm taking on new responsibilities at work, if I'm thinking about changing careers, if I've made big life decisions recently, how are those going to be impacted? How should I think about those in the context of losing potentially some of my time, some of my freedom because I have this other thing that I have to focus on? I think with most things, if you just put a little thought on the front end, you can set yourself up for success on the back end. That's how we approached our baby having decisions. I don't know the appropriate way to say that.
No, I like what you said though, because I'm hearing you give very tangible things like, oh, look at your health insurance, follow the FOO, have some cash reserves in place, whatever. But you didn't say, here's this exact checklist of what you need.
No, there's
because even though I do not have kids at this point, it's true. I could make a list of all these things that need to be in place, but they will never all be perfectly in place. You're
that's
never
right.
going to be totally ready. And so if that's something that you do want, and I think that's a good thing. So don't be too scared.
Yeah, I would say don't be too scared of it, but also be realistic about it, right? Don't think, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have a new baby and life is going to be the exact same. It's not. It's going to change. So long as you are open and have an honest line of communication with your significant other about that, you're going to set yourself up well for it. And in my opinion, it was an awesome decision. My girls, they make my life just crazy. It's just insane every single day, just snapping paintbrushes in front of me.
Oh, yes.
But I would not trade it for the world, and it's so fun and enjoyable. It's not easy. Parenting, I think, is probably the second hardest thing that I've ever done. I think being married is the first, I think, because it's difficult when you bring two people together. Parenting is right up there. I wouldn't trade to the one of them. I love both of them. But you just need to kind of understand going into it that you'll never be fully prepared. But just because you don't feel fully prepared doesn't mean that it's not the right decision if you guys have decided to move in that direction.
So the fact that you want to be a financial mutant for the next couple years in preparation is probably a good thing.
That's
Sounds
exactly
like you're
right.
on the right path.